Hello YouTube. Welcome back. This is BalorMage again, and today we're going to go over the Chaos Compendium because we've been getting a lot of questions about it. It is part of our endgame mapping system. It is Undecember's answer to an Atlas passive tree. It's a very poor excuse for one, but it is what we have, and it is really useful, and you really do need to be using it. So this is our Chaos Compendium. You can get to it from your little Chaos statue button on the left. So this is quite overwhelming to start with. So to explain how it basically works, we have all 12 gods listed on the side here. And then also this last one, which is Chaos, which is something completely different that we don't have to worry about until much later. I'm not actually 100% sure if this is tier 11 and 12 style maps, or if it's unique maps, or if it's both, but the rest of it I am sure about. So we're gonna leave this chaos stuff off to begin with, and we're gonna go with our 12 gods. So each god owns a total of 5 maps. Now these 5 maps repeat during our mapping, and they repeat in order. So you can see I have a tier 9 lamp card here, which is Tippin god, and I also have a tier 4, probably, there it is, lamp card. So lamp shows up once in tier 4 and again in tier 9. So they happen in order. So these are your tier 1 and tier 5 cards. Or no, tier 6. Tier 1 and tier 6 cards are these ones. All the way down the left-hand side, these are your tier 1 and your tier 6 cards. These all here are tier 2 and 7, and then etc, etc. So you've got your 5 and 10 and 9 and 4. So these, in my opinion, are the 2 we should be leveling up first out of every single god. And I think the way we go through these is that we level up the individual cards that we're going to be running. Now, star crystals are the currency that is used to level this stuff, and this stuff is hard to come by. You will not be getting a lot of it. So I do not suggest doing what I've done, which is putting a level in every card, because now that I'm up at tier 9 and tier 10 cards, I'm probably never running these 3 tiers again, or at least not for a very long time. So these points have all been wasted. So my suggestion is to start only with these 2 end cards on every single god. These will be your tier 9 and your tier 10 cards, as well as your tier 4 and tier 5 cards. So they'll be relatively useful while you're progressing, and then the most useful in the end game. So there's 2 things that we can do here. We can level up individual cards, and every time we level up any individual card in a set, we level the god by 1. So your first priority should be to level up 1 card in every single god, all 12 of them. This will give you your 5% rune growth material drop chance. That is global to that god. So when I leveled up Wanderer as my first card, all cards from Aphros gain the 5% growth material drop chance. And then Wanderer gains whatever I put in. Now, when you first start, you'll start with only 1 of these 3 options, and you'll be able to click it once you've leveled it once, and you'll be able to pick a thing, just a thing that you want to get more of whenever you run those cards. So there's a lot going on here, and I only know one thing that I'm relatively certain on, and that is that the 3rd option, which will unlock at chaos level 18, should be charm drop rate, because your high level charms are invaluable and insanely hard to grind. So I am at this point now very confident that your 3rd one should be charm drop rate, but that you shouldn't worry about the charm drop rate for the first 2, because our lower tier, lower level charms, not that important. So frankly, you can go with almost any buff from the entire list. I went with star crystal drop chance on every single map because I wanted to get as much star crystals as I possibly could to level more maps. And then I went with Puru encounters because I really enjoy the goblins. But you could go for anything. More rare monsters, more gear drops, more statue XP. There's more card drops. I would not be taking link runes or skill runes. I think they're a waste, but everything else in the list is very much up to you what you take. Whatever it is you would like more of, take it on every single card. So once you've leveled your last 2 cards in each god one time, that'll get you access to the 3 things and access to your global. Then you're going to want to focus on the god that you want the most of, which is really controlled by charms. So for me, it's Tri or Tree. I don't know how to say that, but this is the guy who drops sentry charms. So for him, I've leveled them up more. Now, I leveled them all to level 4 before I knew what I was doing, and the growth rate, instead of 150 for the first level, to get the 5th level is 750. And again, this is very rare currency, so we're not getting a lot of this. So this is a mistake, and I have wasted all of my currency put into these 3 maps here. I should have only been doing these last 2 to an extent. So we want to grow these last 2 as much as we possibly can, get as much more charm drops as we can, get as much more, I'm going rune growth material. I'm going to replace these star crystal drops with charms a little bit later. Now, the one other thing you should worry about is when you start approaching level 75 total. So the level 75 here is the god. So Tri is level 20, and most of the others are level 3 because I've leveled the first card when I didn't know any better, and then the last 2 when I figured out what was going on. So most of them are level 3, but since this is the one I'm focused on, when you start to get somewhere close to 75, it could very much be worth putting a few extra points in your lower maps that you're not going to use because of how much less they'll cost to bump you up to that 75 whenever you get close, because that again will be global across that entire god. So that is the compendium. That is how we do it. And also a little side note, I don't have a guide on the Void Rift yet, but the Void Rift NPC is over here. And if you haven't done that yet, that is where a very large amount of star crystals is given to you. So this thing resets every, I actually don't know. It's more than a week. It's at least 2 weeks. I have no idea what the reset timer on this is, but that is where you'll get a lot of your star crystals. We don't have a guide on that yet or anything, but if you haven't done your Void Rifts, do those to get a lot of star crystals and spend them in your compendium. Don't waste them all like I did. All right, that's all I have for that, and I will see everybody next time. Goodbye.